Ho ho ho, it's good to see you again. Pull up a chair by the hearth, open up your packs, carefully curate your deck, and proceed to get whooped by people who know how to play Hearthstone way better than you. At least that's what happens to me anyway, but you're probably a much better player than I. The only thing that can take away the sting of repeated defeats is some good drink and good grub. So place your order at the tavern as we make some meals and drinks from the Hearthstone Innkeeper's Tavern Cookbook. Hearthstone Innkeeper's Tavern Cookbook by Chelsea Monroe Castle is a cute little cookbook that chronicles many Hearthstone-inspired drinks and dishes. It's pretty small compared to the other cookbooks I have, but I actually really like the size. It kind of reminds me of how a restaurant drink menu is a bit compact and small in size. The cover for this has a slightly worn-out leathery look to it, and it looks like something you'd expect from a magical tavern, so I really like the design. The cookbook is kind of like a guide written by HEARTHSTONE Brew. He's the innkeeper and owner of the place where Hearthstone takes place and is the dude that welcomes you every time you boot up the game. This is kind of like his training manual for you who's going to be helping him out with the tavern. Before the recipes, there's a tip section on how to be a good host. The write-up has charm and humor that alludes to the fantasy elements of Warcraft, but there are also some simple tips in here that carry over to real-life party hosting, so there are actually some lessons to be learned in here, which is kind of cute. Unlike other cookbooks, this one actually starts off with the drink recipes first, with the food recipes following after, so drinks are definitely front and center with this cookbook, which makes complete sense due to its tavern theme. Now, with the smaller size of the cookbook, I was afraid the food photos will take a back seat just to save space. I was expecting that the photos would be small or that many recipes won't have photos, which is a personal pet peeve of mine, but that's absolutely not the case. This cookbook is loaded with cool drink and food photos staged with that rustic tavern feel, and all of the recipes have an accompanying image. They did a really good job with the layout and used the space really well. Now, I don't drink often, so maybe I'm not the best judge, but I do have to say that the drinks in here look pretty cool. There's a lot of variety in the types of cocktails, and they staged them in a way that they look fun and interesting. I'd love to try all of these. The food that you can expect from this cookbook are pub-style grub, perfect for passing around and sharing in a party or a large gathering. Most of them look easy and simple to make, which is always a plus, and like the drinks, they look fun and vibrant, especially the desserts in my opinion. The cookbook doesn't shy away from frozen or instant ingredients, so if that kind of stuff puts you off and you want something more advanced, then this is not for you. But if you don't mind the simple and humble ingredients, I think you'll like the convenience of these recipes. In other themed cookbooks, usually the drinks and the apps are not the main focus, so I think it's super cool to have a cookbook like this that specializes in just those two things. I can see this cookbook being perfect for folks that like to host parties and cook for a bunch of friends. A lot of these recipes would be awesome for a game night. Anyways, enough dilly-dallying. I'll be helping Hearth out by making some of his tavern's meals to see if this innkeeper's recipes are a keeper. Alright chums, let's cook this. Time to make Leeroy's Angry Chicken Cheeseballs. One of gaming's greatest memes turned into a legendary Hearthstone card and now turned into my next meal. Start off by pulsing 12 ounces of chicken sausages in a food processor. There are many different types of chicken sausages and the cookbook didn't specify which one, so go with what you think looks best. Shred the sausages until you get it into tiny little pieces. Then in a large bowl, mix together 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, a pinch of salt, a pinch of chili pepper, and a pinch of black pepper. Then add in 8 ounces of shredded cheddar cheese. I had a block of cheddar cheese in the fridge already, so I just shredded that, but I have a feeling those pre-shredded cheese from the dairy section at the grocery store would work better in this case. Mix it lightly to coat the cheese with flour. Then add in the sausage and 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter already melted. Mix everything and gradually splash in some water until you get a shapeable consistency. You'll need about a 1/4 cup of water. Shape them in bite-sized balls and place them on a parchment paper lined tray and bake those in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 minutes until golden. Mine didn't turn out looking exactly like the books. I think it's because I used a different kind of sausage and cheddar cheese, but it still looks pretty decent. Add some toothpicks and you're ready to serve Leeroy's Angry Chicken Cheeseballs. I'd love to dig in now, but I got more stuff to make. but at least I have chicken. Hey, do you want to buy a funnel cake? Because I'm about to make some of the Refreshment vendors' funnel cakes. In a pot, you'll need to heat up at least a ½ inch worth of cooking oil. Heat it up in medium heat until it reaches 375 degrees Fahrenheit. While that's heating up, let's prepare the batter. In a large bowl, mix together 1½ cups of milk and 2 eggs. Then whisk in 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a pinch of salt, and a pinch of cinnamon. Mix everything vigorously until you have a nice, evenly mixed batter. Traditionally, you would need a funnel to drop the batter into the oil, hence the name funnel cakes, but since I don't have a funnel, I'll be using a piping bag instead. First, just test out the oil by placing a tiny bit of batter in it. If the batter sinks and floats back up, that means it's hot enough. I find a piping bag actually works really well since you can better control the flow of the batter. It might take a few tries to get the hang of things. My first set were over fried, but I turned the heat down a tad and got familiar with the timing. The book said to fry them a few minutes each side, but I thought that was too much. I usually did it for around 30 to 40 seconds each side, but I just went by the color, flipping and taking them out when they're golden brown. Place the completed funnel cakes on a paper towel lined plate and let them cool a bit. Then stack them up and serve with a dusting of powdered sugar. Funnel cakes, get your funnel cakes here. Now we got our snacks and sweets, let's make some drinks. Our cocktail of choice is gonna be Mistress of Mixtures' favorite mixture. Side effects? No, trust me. This is going to be super simple. In a glass, squeeze in the juice of 1 or 2 limes, then add in a couple dashes of Angostura bitters, then add in 3 to 4 ounces of cola and 2 ounces of rum. Fill the glass with ice and garnish with a wedge of lime. Super simple. Now, if you've watched my other videos, you'll know I'm not the biggest fan of most alcoholic beverages, so just in case I don't like this one, I'm gonna make a mocktail as a backup drink. For that, we're making a drink inspired by Elise Starseeker called Starseeker Sour. First, we gotta make a lavender syrup. In a small pot, combine a cup of sugar, 3/4 cup of water, and 1½ tablespoons of dried culinary lavender. Heat the mixture up over medium-high heat and bring to a simmer and stir until the sugar is dissolved. Then remove it from the heat and cover. Let this steep for 20 minutes, then strain the syrup in a container, keeping all of the lavender out. You can add a few drops of violet food coloring if you want. I added some drops of red and blue coloring in here just to try to get a more vibrant color. Now you got a lavender simple syrup that you can store in the fridge and use for drinks and desserts. Now to make the drink, mix together the juice and zest of 2 lemons in a measuring cup and top it up with water until you get a whole cup of liquid. Strain that into a clean container. Then you'll need to mix 1 part of the lemon mixture with 1 part of the lavender syrup and garnish with the lemon wheel. If you want an alcoholic version, the book suggests to add vodka, but I'm keeping it out of this one. Job's done. Alright, time to eat! But first, a big thank you to my patrons. I was able to commission a new intro theme and get some new cooking surfaces because of you guys, so thank you for helping me make better videos. If you'd like to toss a coin my way to help me make more awesome content, then I invite you to check out my Patreon. Okay, back to eating. Starting with a savory, my attempt at Leeroy's Angry Chicken Cheeseballs didn't turn out exactly like the book visually, but let's see how it tastes. Meaty? Cheesy? Bready? Not bad at all. Next time I make this though, I would probably use a different type of meat, maybe breakfast sausage or ground meat or Spam. And instead of shredding my own cheese, I think those pre-shredded cheese from those packets would work better since they'll be stronger and meltier. Overall, the one I made wasn't bad, but it definitely could be improved, so tailor it to your liking and use the meat and cheese that you think you'd like. To cleanse my palate, I'm gonna take a sip of the Starseeker Sour. Again, the color is a lot redder compared to the book's more bluish hue. I could have added more blue food coloring, but I actually really like this color, so I just left it alone. Let's see how this tastes. It's actually pretty nice. Like with a lot of lavender flavored things, I was afraid this would taste too strong and soapy, but nope, it's actually well balanced and refreshing with just the right amount of lavender flavor. A tad bit sweet, but that's an easy fix. I'll just add less of the syrup for my next glass. Good stuff. Funnel cakes. It's been so long since I've had funnel cakes, so I've been dying to try these, and they did not disappoint. It's got a beautiful crunch, but it still had that sort of doughy chew in the middle. Perfect with a dusting of powdered sugar, and the hint of cinnamon is warming and pleasant. The cookbook didn't have it with ice cream, but You know I gotta add a scoop of vanilla Haagen-Dazs to it. Make that 2 scoops. Top it off with some strawberry sauce I got in the grocery store. Dude, this is next level. I miss this stuff. The warm, crispy funnel cake contrasted with a cool and smooth ice cream with that tart strawberry sauce on top is super addictive and delicious. Love, love, love it. I gotta warn you though, this recipe is gonna make a ton of funnel cakes. I'm gonna be eating funnel cakes for days. Now let's wash everything down with a Mistress of Mixture's favorite mixture. On first sip, not too bad. Rum and Coke is one of those drinks I don't mind, and the added zing of the lime is a welcome addition. The Ango bitters gave it an interesting herby spice-like flavor that's not bad, but I'm not sure if I'd prefer it with or without. Not a bad drink, but of course I prefer my sweet sugary stuff. Final verdict of the Hearthstone Innkeeper's Tavern Cookbook: easy to make, easy to share.